Welcome to another explosive edition of P&B Sports Show, where the passion is high, the stakes are even higher, and African women's football takes center stage. I'm Abel Sunday. All roads leads to a massive Wafcon semi-final showdown, Malawi against Algeria. Two teams and tickets to the finals, and absolute no room for mistakes. Malawi have shown tremendous character on their journey to this stage, while Algeria have also demonstrated they have the quality, determination, and fighting spirit to go all the way. So who has the tactical edge? Who will handle the pressure better? And which nation will be celebrating a place in the Wafcon final? To discuss this mouth-watering encounter, I'm joined from Port Harcourt by the insightful Jackson Caleb. So just grab your teacup because P&B Sports start now.
So I'm Baroness Verma. I'm a member of the House of Lords in the United Kingdom, a former Minister for Energy and Climate Change, and a former Minister for Development. To all the listeners of P&B Television, it is wonderful to be able to reach out to you, to all of you viewers. Please listen and learn and take away lessons that will enhance your country, but wider the globe.
For bringing lines, match analysis, and expert analysis from the world of sports.
Welcome back. It's the P&B Sports Show reaching live from the nation's capital, and I'm being joined virtually by the insightful Jackson Caleb, all the way from the Oil City, Port Harcourt. Jackson, good morning. It's another brand new day.
Yeah, it's a brand new day and it's a more special one. The fact that Cristiano Ronaldo got united with Georgina got me smiling to the night and to this morning. So it's a happy day this morning.
Indeed, and that's a story that I think is making waves since last night, this morning. I think that has been long overdue. Been with that woman for a very long time, and she has given birth to children. I don't want to call how many, but at least she has given birth to a lot of kids to him. So I think it's high time. Or probably he's trying to test her to know if, in Africa also we have to test the woman to know if the woman is, I don't know if that's the right word to say, to use rather, but we want to know the woman better and know if she's the right person to be in your house or to stay to in fact to bear your name. I think that's the right word to use, to bear your name. And I think she have passed the test so far. That's the reason why Ronaldo had to tie the knot.
Yeah, I mean, Brian, I'm an Argentine by marriage. So in case you see me supporting Argentina in the 2030 World Cup, know that I'm an Argentine by marriage now.
That's fine. That's fine. But Caleb, let's dive into the conversation for today. The second time, yesterday we spoke about Morocco and Cameroon yesterday, which is the first semi-final game, and the second final game, Malawi versus Algeria. Both teams, this is their first time of getting to this stage. But why Malawi's story is so peculiar and different is because this is the first time they are playing in this stage. This Wafcon tournament, this is their first ever. They are debutants in this tournament, and they have what it takes, my own opinion, to win this competition. Because if they can take off a giant killer like the Super Falcons 3-2, then I don't think they can. I don't think I don't think anything. I don't think they should be scared of anything in this tournament. I don't think so, because they can beat the 10-time champions 3-2. Then I think they can beat anything. But Malawi have made it to the semi-finals. What has been the biggest and the biggest strength, I beg your pardon, behind their impressive run in this tournament? Let me get your take on that. What do you think has been their strength so far?
Like I've always said since the beginning of the Wafcon that the Chamuga sisters have the bond of sisters, and then bringing it into the game of football, they play with a high level of professionalism, and that is what lies the strength of this Malawan side. It's not really their ability to it's not just their ability to press or get on the ball, but the way both of them do hold on to the ball and play it amongst themselves. Remember, I said Tabitha, the one who plays for Lyon, mostly plays on the wing, takes on the defenders, gives them nightmares. And Thelma, the other one, who's had, I think she has 4 goals already in this Wafcon tournament. And if she scores today, she's joint top scorer with Barbara Banda. And then if she has 2 more goals, definitely that's her through as tournament ultimate top scorer. So her ability to score goals, run through those centre back lines are the things that make this Malawian side really, really dangerous. Not really that they have an amazing game to watch, but just that 2 of them are the star and then they run for the full 90 minutes. Just like you mentioned, if you check from the game against the Super Falcons, I think that was the game that they actually made a statement coming into this Wafcon for the very first time. And then they were all over the place from minute 1 to minute 90. And going forward into every other game, they have always made their marks on the remaining games. So
Yeah,
for me, that's ultimate decider of this Malawian side.
yeah. I think the only team that they fall short of glory was against Zambia, which they lost 3-2-1. I beg your pardon. And even against Zambia, I think they even have some kind of the final stage. They have some kind of. I think they scared the Zambia because they had some opportunities that they would have put that game to bed, probably tie the game or even we take all 3 points. But well, it's all good for them. They were able with what they have, they were able to qualify to the next stage, and they are still waxing stronger. Again, you said something about the Super Falcons, and I think, of course, yeah, beating the Super Falcons is also a very big factor for them, that giving them that strength to say, if we can do it again, 10-time champions, why not? I think we can take on anybody, not even Morocco can stand on our way, because if we can beat the Super Falcons, of course, there's no team in African football, in African women football, I beg your pardon, that we cannot take down. But let's look at the Algerian side. Algeria have also shown great resilience. What do you think is their biggest threat to Malawi in these semi-finals? Of course, I know you tell me that the Chawanga sister, definitely. Go ahead.
Algerian side, to be honest, unfortunately there is no Chawinga sister at the Algerian side. But the beauty of this Algerian team is the way they play. Like I said earlier, they have a systematic style of possession, and that is for me what they've been able to capitalize on. The game against Ivory Coast, I said it earlier. Watching the game, I felt a bit disappointed because I actually rooted for Ivory Coast to go through, and Ivory Coast scored first. But unfortunately, they were a man down, and then I expected them to, solidify their defensive unit. But instead, they kept running around place. When you're a man down, you don't run around against a team that knows how to hold on to the ball. And I think that is Algeria's strength. I also said on the issue that the average possession of the Algerian female side is 52%. So imagine in every match you average more than half of the match time possession. So you hold on to the ball most of the time. And I think that's something that again shows that the level of growth in their football team is going fast. Because imagine each of the players being able to hold on to the ball and being able to make good use of the possessions and turnovers. So that alone shows that this side is a side to ultimately watch. And then again, I really can't remember their left back, but she would an eye watcher because she's had 2 goals, and these 2 goals have come from set pieces. So watching her definitely again would be something that would scare the Malawian side, because this Algerian side are not just sides that sit back, but this Algerian side is not just a side sits back. When they attack with intent. And just like we said, creation of chances is something that the Algerian side doesn't lack. I remember the game against Ivory Coast, even after the man down, they came with so much pressure. In the first half, they had 6 shots, 1 on target. And then the second half, they came with 9 shots and then 3 on target, out of which 2 were good. So you can see that their pressure and their attacking intent produces end products for them. So for me, that's what I think would be the strength on the Algerian side.
Yeah, that would be a strength on the Algerian side. But looking at tactically, if you look at this team tactically, where do you expect this game? This game can to be won or lost. Looking at the midfield or the flanks or in the final third, do you think which of this side do you think will overpower or dominate these areas? The midfield, the flanks, and let me get your take on that.
Okay, now, so with the way this game is going, trying to follow the game by simulation, I think this game is one that's going to be won in the final third. My reason is the Algerian sides are not really spectacular in their midfield, but I think their ball holding ability would outshine the Malawian midfield for me. So I think that's something that the Algerian sides have to themselves. But the Chawinga sisters again have the ability on the ball. So the Malawian attack versus the Algerian defense. Then turn it to attack. The Algerian attack versus the Malawian defense. Because like I said, the Algerians have 37% possession attack from the left wing, the most significant percent for the attack. That's what they attack for most of the time. So it's always going to be a flank versus opposition flank attack. So I think that's where most of the game is going to be seen. However, sometimes you might see the paradigm shifts drawn into the midfield, maybe when Malawi tries to come in with the press. But like I said again, I think it may not possibly be 100% accurate, but from my own view, the midfield of the Algerian side and their technicality might tend to overpower the Malawian physicality.
Indeed. And bro, looking at the importance of the first 20 minutes, do you think if should either team approach the game, do you think probably, let's say, any of the side that take the lead, don't you think that will go a long way? But again, there's this thing about the Algerian side that, of course, against the Ivorians, which they fall down. Of course, definitely there's a man deficiency there. But I don't think that should be a factor. But looking at them, if they can fight back against the Ivorians, let's assume the Malawians took the lead in 20 minutes. Don't you think again the Algerians have what it takes to come back in that game, or do you think anybody score first, the other side will just collapse?
I don't definitely agree that anybody scores first game is good because from this Algerian side, they are not usually the side that is known for striking the first blow. The only game that we saw them take the ultimate lead was the opening match where we saw them side from opener. That was when we saw them take on and score two goals. But from every other game, we've had to see them hold on. We've had to see them do this holding on their fort into this winners. Against Morocco, we saw how they played 80 minutes without a goal. And then they kept Morocco quiet until about the 84th minute. And then even in the Ivory Coast game, Ivory Coast took the lead, but we saw them play until the second half when Curry came inside and then making an impact off the bench, and then the fun came around in the second half. So I don't think scoring in the first 20 minutes determines. However, this Malawan side is not the side that if they score in the first 20 minutes, they will be looking to, sit back, defend, or give counter attack. They look like this side rather that will be looking to find the second goal, put this game to bed as early as possible. I think it's more of who mounts more press or gets more out of the game.
Actually, I think I want to agree with you on that, because who wants it most? Because we can easily say who desire the game most will get the result at the end of the day. But which player should fans be watching closely tonight, and who could emerge as the match winner? If I could put you on that spot, who do you think fans should be watching closely? Which of those players? And who do you think is going to emerge at the end as a
I
player of
think
the day?
Madaman all eyes have begun to shift to Thelma Chawinga. This is Tabitha Chawinga. Well, I think all eyes have begun to shift to Thelma Chawinga, given her goal scoring prowess. So more eyes have begun shifting to her and saying, okay, if she's a goal scorer, we'll be counting on her ability to finish tonight. But yeah, exactly, that's Thelma Chawinga. So all eyes will be counting on her tonight to get the goal scoring abilities done. But I think for the Algerian side, I'll be looking at Jaffer. Jaffer is number 22, their captain. I mean, she's been a source of inspiration to their team, and her ability, especially trying to hold down opposition key players in the middle of the park, shows that she's actually a very experienced midfielder. So I don't think we have much of differences with who she'll be watching. And then she's 31 years old to say, so her experience might be something that Algeria might be looking out for throughout this game. So for the Malawian side, I would say we should be watching on Thelma Chawinga, and for the Algerian, I would have to say we should watch Marine Defe the 31-year-old captain of the Algerian side. Although I have other personal favorites for the Algerian side, but I think she brings in a lot of experience and a lot of composure to this team currently.
All right. But looking at this team, both teams, Algeria and also Malawi. Yes, we know Malawi are the first. These are debutant in this tournament. Algeria also not, but of course, this is the first time they get to the semi-finals of Wafcon, of any Wafcon tournament. But looking at the game, the both teams knows that one mistake could end their title dream. How much will pressure and experience influence the outcome? Because I think both teams will be under intense pressure. My own opinion, though, as I will always say. But let me get yours. Do you think that will be a factor?
I think they have used, for Malawi, I would say they have used one stone to kill two birds, because this is their first Wafcon and they have to come in as underdogs, and then they've got themselves qualified to their first ever World Cup. So even if they lose this match, they have nothing to prove. If I was the coach, that is the statement I was telling them. They have done incredibly well for themselves and they have nothing to prove, because that makes their mentality now more relaxed. When I mean more relaxed, doesn't mean that they are relaxed to lose the match, but more relaxed with the pressure that they play on their head. So I think it's the Algerian side that have more to prove, but you can't really say, because even the Algerian side might play with a bit of caution, because in as much as they have qualified, I see them trying to compete with Morocco. I see them trying to get themselves up there, so that when we mention the continent Africa, they can stand tall as Morocco too. So I think the Algerian side have more of the pressure to prove. But however, you cannot say that the Algerian side might be willing to take a risk, because from what I've watched too, from the games that we've seen, when Algerian side tends to play in a very highly skilled and versatile attacking line, they tend to drop it. They tend to trend into a compact 4-4-2, especially how they mark. Sometimes a 4-5-1, how they mark, because of how they are trying to cut out those passing lanes. That is what Algeria does. So I think both sides might be willing to take a bit of risk. Even for that first 10 minutes, both sides might not want to overly attack, they might not want to get loose on the attacking end. But I think never run is going on in the game. As the game progresses, you might begin to see more of pressure developing, probably substitutions trying to take the game to a different level. And that is where it really begins to open up and it becomes anybody's game, really.
Actually, and finally, Jackson, as we try to wrap up, if you had to stick your neck out right now, who reaches the Wafcon finals, Malawi or Algeria? And what is your scoreline prediction?
Oh, I think we just got a prediction of World Cup.
And you know this. I'm going to bring this video back. Yes, tomorrow I'll talk about it, because this game will play today. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about it. We're bringing this video back.
If I was to stick my neck out for anybody, I'm definitely going Malawi. I definitely go Malawi. I just think an incredible side to watch, honestly. And I think, honestly, I'm not supporting them because of any bias or anything, but I think they are an interesting side to watch. So I would be actually happy if they make it through to the final round, because it will be a lot of history and it will be a lot of joy actually to most of the more African sides. So yeah, I'll see Malawi. And to give a scoreline, give a scoreline, I would say 2-1 or 3-1. So it's not 2-1, it's 3-1.
To
But
Malawi.
I would definitely take, yeah, 2-1 or 3-1.
Okay, and tomorrow we are going to, our darling Super Falcons is going to take on the Bayana of South Africa again. I don't know why we and South Africa will have to be head to head. If it is one, if I have to go to, I don't know if it's to pursue us from their country or is South Africa. Who is driving us from their country is that South Africa. Who is playing football against us is still South Africa. I don't know this time. But what do you think is going to happen? Will the Super Falcons bounce back tomorrow? Do you see them winning that playoff tomorrow? Because we actually needed it. We need it.
Should I be honest? Should I be honest with you?
Yeah, please.
Very honest with Nigerians at this point, I don't think I know what to expect from Super Falcons.
You've lost faith.
I've not really lost faith. But when I say I don't know what to expect, I know the quality of players, but they have not been up to par this season. And it gives me a lot of concern because if you watch South Africa, they've been able to stick in a jail. You know, South Africa has been able to play according to a particular pattern. So it might not really be hard for them to.
But can I quickly, if you look at the screen now, you will see the head-to-head on South Africa, Nigeria. 15 wins, 4. You see 6-6 draw. I think so. Then 4. We've lost 4 to South Africa. They've lost 15 to us.
So history has two things: either it repeats itself or it makes new history. But tomorrow is going to be a different game, and I'm going out with full support of Super Falcons.
Thank you so much.
Like you rightly said, one thing about the Super Falcons is that they deliver when it matters the most.
They need to deliver this time, oh.
So I actually think that tomorrow we are going to see a different version of the Super Falcons.
All right, I just want to join my faith with yours, and let's make sure that what happened to the Super Eagles should not happen to the Super Falcons, because they say 2 times rain they catch fever. You understand? May the rain no go beat us 2 times. May the fever now come past fever, enter typhoid fever, because 9 the worst. But and then you have it. The stage is set. The stakes are massive, and one thing is certain: Malawi and Algeria will leave everything on the pitch in pursuit of a place in the Wafcon finals. A big thank you to my guests joining us virtually from Port Harcourt, the insightful Jackson Caleb, for those brilliant insights and predictions. Thank you so much, Jackson, for doing this with me again today.
It's always a pleasure to be back on the P&B Sports Show. And today we have PSG Aston Villa, so you see a lot of games are piling up this week.
Exactly. I don't wonder you are putting on Barcelona, but you're not a Barca fan. I wonder why you're putting.
We are netted with Spain by marriage. So all these shows that we are doing now,
okay, that's fine. And to you, our viewers, thank you for staying with us. And you can follow us on across all social media platforms on YouTube and Facebook at Politics and Business TV.English, on IG at PMBTV_English, and on X at PMBTV_ENG. You can also watch us on Free TV or download the Free TV app from your device Play Store for uninterrupted access to all our programs. Coming up next is The Voices with Mandina Azaki. I'm Eba Sunday. Until next time, it's bye for now.